So I thought I'd do a little video for you guys to show you kind of the unboxing, but just to talk about my experience so far ordering Harvey's Gyro Air G-700 dust protector. I'm in Canada, so you have to pay duty and stuff. The shipping ended up costing about $500 US to me in Alberta. Duty charges, they charge about 7.5% because the item's manufactured in China, I believe. Don't quote me that, but either or, the dust collectors that are manufactured in the US don't have duties, so you might want to compare that if you're importing something. But yeah, the other issue I had was the 800 number for Harvey doesn't work from Alberta. They said it does work for their Canadian customers, but for me it wasn't working. So I don't know. I've been able to do everything over email so far, so hopefully I don't have too much problem with support. But yeah, so I mean, it obviously came shrink wrapped, came fairly quickly, which I was super happy about. And yeah, we'll just take a look and I'll kind of speed you through just how much effort it is to get off of the pallet, because I heard that can be a bit of a challenge. So enjoy.
Unfortunately, my microphone on my phone sounds horrible in the video, so I had to do a voiceover. This is my first time, so bear with me here for a sec. I guess I should talk a little bit why I bought the Harvey. I'm only working on one side of my garage, so I needed something compact that wouldn't take up too much room. Originally I was going to put it on the corner, and the unit's only about 35 inches high, so you can put a countertop over top of it. But now I've decided to move it to kind of have it jut out from the wall, so it creates a peninsula, and that way I can kind of put my standing station or my planer on top of it. Another reason that I bought this unit was that besides having a HEPA filter and being one of the cleanest units out there, it's also one of the quietest. We just had a baby and there's a nursery on the other side of the garage, so got to try to keep it quiet as much as possible. As you can see, I was struggling to slide it off the pallet there. Apparently it's not that easy. So if you open up the unit, the door is quite heavy, and you pull out the big drum, which is also heavy, and it's got a few things inside. It's got a splitter for a 6-inch to 4-inch, as well as it comes with a hose. It's about 6 feet tall, which isn't really long enough. As well as it comes with a handle for the side. So, but yeah, you pull out the unit, and it's a good idea to keep that out because it's pretty heavy, like probably close to 50 pounds on its own. So yeah, the reason why it was stuck to the pallet is these bolts here. 4 bolts, you pull them out. The unit itself's probably about 450 pounds or just shy of it. And I figured I could just slide it off the panel by myself, but they really don't make it so that's an easy option. They attached 4 hooks on the top that you can kind of get a hoist to lift it off. Unfortunately though, which I assume most people have this issue, is they're working by themselves, and that's why they're using a unit this size. And so you don't have the help to pull it off, and you don't have a hoist. What I decided to do was use my car jack to lift off one side of it and slide a couple 2x4s. In my case, I used a couple bed stringers because I just moved and I literally have no wood in this wood shop at all right now. So I had to use what I had. So I used a couple bed stringers, put them under, and basically I had to slide them on top of the laminated blocks of wood that you can see underneath that run parallel to the pallet, or sorry, to the unit that's on the pallet. And the problem is though, is you got to watch out for the cleanouts. They're at the end on the bottom of the unit, and they're plastic, so they run right in line where the 2 laminated blocks are stuck on the pallet. So if you are sliding it off like I am, and if you let it down, those things would just crush, and yeah, your nice new unit would be wrecked. So I don't recommend doing that. I'm not gonna lie, when I jacked this thing up, I could just see in my head that this thing was gonna fall over. So I was like, well, at least one plus I'll have a video of it showing, but fortunately that didn't happen for me. The guys at Harvey would probably be laughing, either that or shaking their head at me. I should mention you can hook up the hose to the cleanout ports on the bottom, and once you turn the machine on and turn the red knobs at the top, it kind of scrapes the HEPA filters and cleans itself. It's kind of a cool feature. I got lucky as I was doing this, as I realized I wasn't going to keep working like the way I was doing it, and I almost pushed the unit off the two pieces of wood underneath that were attached to the stringers, or whatever you want to call them, the blocks of wood underneath. So I decided to sport it a little bit better at the front, so that I could get the jack up, lifted up high enough so it wasn't touching the pallet at all underneath, and that way I could just pull those out, bang them off, and then lower it back down so that I could keep on going. Definitely a little bit sketchy once I got it put as high as I needed to get it to pull those out, but it seemed to work fine. Once I got those removed, I could go back to what I was doing before, slowly sliding it off the pallet. When I got to the end, I figured I'd just jack it off the ground and slide the pallet out from underneath it, but unfortunately the jack wouldn't fit underneath. Luckily the heavy side was already off the pallet, so I was able to pull my back out, or lift it off to the side. So it's been a week or so, and I finally got the power hooked up, and I figured I would demonstrate how loud it is. I've never turned it on before. Couple things. I mentioned that it has the 6-foot hose, and I said, that's not very good for anything, but it's actually meant to be just long enough to reach around to the cleanouts, and it will self-clean itself. So I guess it does have a very good use. The other cool thing about it is it twist locks into here, and then this here is a friction fit, so they're really easy to open and close. So that was kind of another cool thing. Yeah, it comes with a remote here, and so yeah, let's see how loud it is. So that, not sure if that's the highest it goes. Hooked up to a machine, so a lot of that is the air noise that you're hearing. Yeah, so I don't have much to compare it to be honest. It's not hooked up to a machine, so it's pulling a lot of air noise there with that. But just to compare, I have my saw stop over here that I'll also turn on. All right, so to compare, this is the sound of the saw stop. So I'll grab decibel readings of both of those and throw them out there to see what they are. But yeah, Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, so this is basically where this is going to go here. It's going to come out like that, and I'm going to have a countertop on top of it. I'll probably put my vise on the end here. And then what I'll do eventually, I want to have a 4x4 CNC put in here. So I think the pipes will kind of come up the wall and then go over to my bandsaw there, as well as, you know, eventually maybe it'll have a joiner. And I'm not sure if I'm going to come over top of the ceiling with the dust collection, or if I'll just come out to here, right to the wall there, and then just run like a cord that I can unhook and hook up to each machine. I don't know. I hooked up the hose to the table saw directly, and I turned it on and tested the sound. The sound level was almost identical as to when the hose was just off. So I don't think whether you run it through a bunch of to a bunch of different machines, whether that would disperse the sound. It would probably sound just the same, if not maybe a couple decibels less. With that being said, the decibel rating when it was on the lowest setting was 70, and then when I cranked it up to high, it went to 85. Comparing that to my table saw is 78. So it's a little bit louder for sure, but it'll do. I'm happy with it, with the form factor of it, you know, nice and small, and just, yeah, the way it's going to fit in my shop will work out perfectly. The other thing you may have noticed or not, compared to the beginning, is I got new lights up. So if you guys want to subscribe, my next video will be on the new lights I install in the garage. And yeah, please leave a comment, hit like. I want to hear from you guys. Any suggestions would be great. We'll see you next time.